All right, welcome students and staff, and I definitely want to welcome our distinguished guests for joining us here today for Mr. Philip Cooper's ExCEL Awards ceremony. So students, you'll hear from a lot of the guests up here, but I first want to give a quick thank you. We've got Chief Robert Moore, Dr. DeFerrari here from District Support. We appreciate all their support they give us each and every day at Waggener. Other dignitaries, we want to welcome Ms. Haley Minogue from WHAS 11, as well as Ms. Liz Pratt from LG&E KU, and finally, Mr. Brent McKim from JCTA. This is a proud day for Waggener High School. We are so excited to honor, once again, Mr. Cooper as an ExCEL Award winner. I'm super proud as a principal of all our Waggener staff. We have leaders and teachers and support staff who genuinely care for students, and they really want to make sure that teenagers have all the skills and knowledge that you guys need to become young adults. Specifically, Mr. Cooper shines. I love my entire Waggener staff, but when I see a student like you, lucky students, who have geometry, room 312, Mr. Cooper, on their schedule, you have hit the jackpot. Mr. Cooper's room is inquisitive, it's inclusive, and it's fun, isn't it? His influence, though, goes beyond even students. Mr. Cooper is a valued and respected leader of his colleagues in this building. He leads our math department. He's our math department chair, but he is valued and respected by every single staff member at Waggener. His credibility is unmatched. So in his influence to his colleagues, they influence their students as well, and Mr. Philip Cooper lifts our entire school community. Our first speaker is Dr. Katie DeFerrari, JCPS Chief of Staff.
Thank you, good morning. So it is especially fun to be back at Waggener. At one point, I was the principal at Waggener right before Dr. Hitchings, so I am thrilled to be back where my principal home was. I want to also tell you, by far, you are the most vibrant, pumped up group of students we've seen in an ExCEL Award this year. So give a big round of applause again to Mr. Cooper. Yes. So I want to make sure you understand how special your teacher is. The ExCEL Awards are for educational excellence only. There are very few people in the over 6,000 teachers in Jefferson County that will get this honor, and you get to be in their class. That is a really special thing. When Dr. Hitchens said you hit the jackpot, there is no question that every day you get to have the experience with a teacher of excellence like Mr. Cooper. You get the best high-quality teaching and rigorous instruction with fun, it sounds like, that you could possibly have. I also want you to think about the fact that if Mr. Cooper is this awesome at teaching, he probably would be pretty awesome at anything. My guess is if Mr. Cooper wanted to be any other career possible, and I'm sure his family would agree, he would have been really good at it. But he didn't pick to do that. He picked to teach. And we're so very fortunate that he did that, and so are all of you. I want to also make sure that, again, I reinforce the fact that his classroom is a fun place to learn, it's an exclusive place to learn, and my guess is if you're not meeting expectations academically, Mr. Cooper makes sure that whatever you need to do that, he provides. And that's a very special thing. Additionally, I would venture a guess that Mr. Cooper also makes sure to instill the importance of lifelong learning. It doesn't matter what you choose to do for your career, but that you understand there's always a way to get better and to learn more. And any person that models that, like Mr. Cooper, is going to be a very successful person with lots of hope for their future. I want to also thank our guests and partners for giving this opportunity to us. That would be KU, LG&E, and WHAS 11, and they're with us, and you're going to hear from them in just a few minutes. But we want to thank them for their partnership and for giving us time to highlight people as special as Mr. Cooper. I want to read a couple of things, and I'm getting to the age I have to wear glasses now. Back at this podium, I didn't have to do that. Those who were closest to Mr. Cooper say Mr. Cooper is a prized possession. He is the kind of teacher that every parent would want for their child, and the entire Waggener community is blessed to have him. Mr. Cooper's classroom is governed with respectful interactions among students and is a safe and nurturing place. We are very proud to have educators like Mr. Cooper in Jefferson County Public Schools. Again, I want to reinforce that there are very few in over 6,000 teachers in this district that have this very, very exclusive honor. On behalf of Jefferson County Public Schools, I want to reward and show appreciation for your award today, Mr. Cooper, and thank you very much for your service at Jefferson County.
Dr. DeFerrari, thank you for the higher decade ago. I appreciate that as the former principal at Waggener. I'd like to thank everybody here in celebrating one Mr. Philip Cooper. So I've known Cooper for the last decade. We started teaching the same year and have worked at the same schools, Myers Middle School and Waggener High School. The last 5 years, he's been my neighborhood teacher in the IT and Law Academy up on the 3rd floor. I'm room 310, he's 312. And in those last 5 years, I've been fortunate enough to witness the impact Philip Cooper has had on his students on a daily basis. He's full of energy and approaches the day that way. He is so much more than a math teacher to his students. He's a mentor, a counselor, a coach, and a source of inspiration. He is completely committed to his profession, and to this day, he still won't tell me how many sick days he's accrued. I hope to find that out soon. Beyond his work ethic, Philip Cooper was born to teach and educate. He personifies what is essential to becoming an effective teacher in this district. He challenges his students. He's creative with his lesson planning. He's approachable when they need help. He's also a great communicator and an advocate for all his students. He has so much spirit and enthusiasm. Spirit Weeks are where Cooper really shines around here. He goes all out each day we have them. He doesn't make me feel good because he's so good at it. When he won the St. Matthew's Chamber of Commerce Excellence Award in Teaching last year, the ceremony called for it to be cartoon themed. I thought to myself, the perfect award for the perfect candidate. He dressed up as Charlie Brown, his wife Amy as Lucy. They were adorable. We have pictures. As a peer colleague, we talk about all aspects of our lives. We have similar backgrounds and started families at similar times. At school, we talk a lot about the challenges of being a teacher and what it takes to ensure we are making the most positive impact that we can. Throughout the years, there's never been a day when he's questioned his love of teaching and the idea that he can make Waggener a place where students want to learn and feel empowered to do so. I would have really enjoyed Mr. Cooper as a math teacher, and as an adult, I've enjoyed our journey together as educators. Coop's award tour did not start last year with the St. Matthew's Chamber of Commerce Excellence in Teaching Award. He's also the two-time winner of the prestigious Flying Pig Award here at Waggener. So, long story short, that's given to the teacher or faculty member who's doing unbelievable things here at Waggener. It's a big deal at our faculty meetings. Coop does not like or want recognition. Even as I was drafting this in the weeks leading up to the ceremony, I could tell he was like, Luke, what are you going to say about me? But in reality, Coop, this is a long time coming. Your hard work, the long hours you put in, and the impact that you've had on our students, the IT and Law Academy, and Waggener as a whole, make you a much deserving recipient of the 2023 Jefferson County Public School ExCEL Award. Congrats, brother.
Thank you, Mr. Small. As further affirmation, Mr. Cooper selected his second speaker to be a student. So I invite to the podium Senior Reese Chester.
Hello, my name is Reese Chester and I'm currently a senior. I had Mr. Cooper as a geometry teacher while I was a freshman. On my first day of high school, I was terrified, especially to be one of 2 freshmen in a sophomore math class. But Mr. Cooper made getting adjusted the first week of school super easy. Mr. Cooper is my favorite teacher that I have ever had. He made sure everyone was seen and heard while making math class fun. Mr. Cooper made math fun, though, by creating a safe and comfortable work environment. I have never seen a teacher want all of their kids to succeed like Mr. Cooper does. He made me excited to come to school even when we didn't have it in person. NTI was really hard for me, but Mr. Cooper's Zoom calls gave me something to look forward to because he always pushed me to do our best. While I was going through a rough time, I knew Mr. Cooper would always be there to truly listen to me, and he gave me some of the most well thought out advice. Mr. Cooper is truly a huge role model to me. He puts all of his energy into teaching, and it shows. I have never seen him sit at a desk. Instead, he is up walking around the room, asking every individual student how they are doing and if they need help on any specific problem. Till this day, he greets every student that walks into his room and makes sure that no student is left behind. I have not met one kid at Waggener while I've been here all 4 years that did not like Mr. Cooper, and I could not be more thankful to have had such an awesome teacher in my life. I still go visit his classroom daily when I get the chance. He is someone I can always count on for words of encouragement as well as a fist bump. Having him as a teacher has made my high school experience 10 times better. So finally, thank you, Mr. Cooper, for everything you've done for me and for lighting up this school.
Thank you, Reese. Now for the presentation of the ExCEL Award, I'd like to invite up Ms. Haley Minogue from WHAS and Ms. Liz Pratt from LG&E and KU.
Thank you. How are you guys doing today? Oh, I had a middle school yesterday, so they were like jacked out of their skulls to not be in class. So I present these ExCEL Awards on behalf of WHAS 11. It has been my honor and privilege to do this for the past 4 years. So this year, instead of trying to write a speech about someone that I've known for maybe 20 minutes, I've just been asking students to say nice things about their teacher that they might not always say to their teacher's face. So does anyone have something that they would like to say about Mr. Cooper? Yes. Go ahead, yell it out really loud.
Like we said, Mr. Cooper has helped me with a lot of things. He's very supportive, and we crack jokes all the time. Even though sometimes my jokes are a little too much for him, but it's all right though. We understand, but yeah, he's very. To me, he's not a teacher. He's more of a role model or a father figure. Many other people can say that as well. So it's more than just about teaching, and not to compare him to other teachers, but he definitely deserves this. And for his family to be here and see him, it's great and it's amazing. He deserves it.
So not just a teacher, but a father figure, a role model. Okay, who else? Yes.
Mr. Cooper is one of the best teachers I've ever had for math, like during all my years in school. He helped me when I was down and everything, and when I'm in his class, it just feels like geometry is a whole lot easier. Like one of the best teachers I've ever had. I'm glad he has this award. He deserves it.
Perfect. So it sounds like he takes care of the whole student and not just trying to cram information into you all. He wants to make sure that you're good on another level. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
I would like to say Mr. Cooper's class is a class that you live for. You can come in there with the worst attitude, the worst thing ever, and somehow he can always make you laugh. There's something about him and his energy. He's such a good person. I see him out there giving speeches and always trying to help students that need further help. He is one of my favorite teachers as well, and he's always an inspiration to everybody. He's the type of person that it doesn't matter who you are, you can always help.
Okay. So we heard from a couple of students today that it sounds like Mr. Cooper goes above and beyond in the classroom, and that's a lot of what I read in his nomination packet as well. That he takes care of the entire student, that he is a leader, not only for his class, but also among his colleagues, that he does everything that he can in his math department to share his strategies, to share that energy, to really take care of not only the students in the school, but to take care of the teachers in the school. So it sounds like Mr. Cooper is exactly what we look for in ExCEL Award winners. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and present this, if you want to come up here with me. On behalf of WHAS 11 and LG&E KU, congratulations to Mr. Cooper and your
Thank you, everyone. Good morning. It is my pleasure to be here on behalf of LG&E and KU and to celebrate Mr. Cooper. We've been a part of the ExCEL Awards for about 20 years because it's a great way to celebrate the exceptional teachers that we have here in the district and the impacts that you're making here at Waggener for your students and more importantly for our community. Because we know that these students are going to be our community's future leaders. And so just celebrating you and the impact that you're having, it is clear today how much you are loved and appreciated. We also get the opportunity to read the nomination packets, and so it is inspiring to learn the ways that you're engaging and connecting with your students and collaborating with your colleagues here at Waggener and also across the district. So from our perspective, being a math teacher, areas like math and science and technology are at the root of everything that we do as an energy company. And so it is my privilege to be here today. And I'm also going to ask you to step forward because I get the privilege to present to you an award for $1,000 to be used here at Waggener for your students.
And now for the presentation of the Schoolhouse Award, I invite to the podium Mr. Brent McKim, our JCTA president.
Thank you, and hello everyone, good morning. I want to begin by saying a special thank you to WHAS and LG&E KU for being sponsors and making all of this possible. We really appreciate the help that you provide in lifting up these fantastic educators from across the district. My name is Brent McKim. I am a teacher in the district, and I am the elected president of the Teachers Association, where I was elected by those 6,000 teachers to be their spokesperson. And one of the most cool things I get to do is to be a part of these ExCEL recognitions. And I'm really delighted to be able to be at this one because I started my teaching career right here at Waggener High School. So it is great to be back here. And I can honestly say my best memories of all my years of teaching were here at Waggener. And one of those memories is actually experiencing the very first ExCEL Award that I had ever had the opportunity to be just a spectator like you in the audience and see. And it was memorable just because it was the first one, but it was also kind of memorable because at the time it was the early 1990s, and we had just been, we were right at the end of this huge blizzard that had like 14 inches of snow, and school had been closed for like several days, and pretty much the whole community had shut down, and the TV was like nothing but local news covering this blizzard nonstop. And I'll always remember that the master of ceremonies at the event was a fellow named Gary Rodemeyer. He was the news anchor for WHAS 11 at the time, and he did all of their ExCEL Awards back then. And Gary was saying that, you know, he had been on the news pretty much nonstop covering the blizzard, and he finally, he had actually slept at the station and all of that. He finally, you know, it started to melt enough that he could get out and go home. And he said he went to the bank, and he went up to the teller at the bank to like cash his paycheck. And the teller said, "Hey, aren't you Gary Rodemeyer?" He said, yes I am. And he said, the teller said, "I am so tired of seeing you." So it was memorable. But it is so great to hear these wonderful things about Mr. Cooper. Clearly, his skills at teaching geometry are incredibly acute. He could no doubt reach even the most obtuse learner like me, because, you know, he has all the angles, and clearly, these recognitions are the proof. Okay, I get it. My jokes are kind of square. All right. Yeah, I used to teach. The teacher next door would laugh at my jokes. My class was silent. I so appreciated the teacher next door. Like this. Okay, so with no further ado, let me just say, the 6,000 teachers across the district have a very special way that they recognize the exemplar teachers among us, and that is with our Schoolhouse Award. It is given from teachers to teachers, and so I want to celebrate Mr. Cooper, and I also want to thank him for being a role model for all the rest of us teachers. Thank you for what you do and for your students. And it's my honor to present the Schoolhouse Award to you.
Thank you, Mr. McKim. It's time to hear from Mr. Cooper himself.
Well, just as Luke said earlier, I am probably going to do my best to defer a lot of the attention away from me. WHAS and LG&E, thank you so much for highlighting the good and the positive things that are happening in our district. And through doing that in the ExCEL Award, I'm so grateful. Dr. DeFerrari, thank you and your team for continuing to recognize the good across the district and always looking out for the best interests of students in JCPS, as well as also thank you for a decade later taking a chance on me in my first year of teaching. As I sat here and I heard the words that were shared, I'm humbled and I'm reminded of my journey ending up here. Teaching was the last thing on my mind as a student. I never dreamed I'd be a goofy high school math teacher who speaks as many words per day as I do now. Halfway through college, I realized that my impact on the world around me would be greater through a platform like teaching. And I changed my major to education at UK, and I never looked back. After graduation, I was blessed with the opportunity to attend WKU's G-Sky Teach Master's Program. Easily the best professors I've ever had, the best experience with education I've ever had, and the best preparation for the classroom. I owe much of any success to those professors and their crash course into education. They prepared me for the roller coaster that becoming a teacher would be. Thank you to my parents who raised me and helped instill a strong work ethic needed to be a teacher. Thank you to my wife and biggest supporter, Amy, for putting up with my early mornings and my long hours. And thank you to my kids, Addison and Charlie, who always give me a hope for the future. We have a phrase here at Waggener to highlight positive things that are happening around campus. And simply put, it says, why Waggener? I can share countless stories and reasons why this school is deserving of positive recognition. Defining my why is what helps me stay motivated to put forth my best effort day in and day out. My why is connected to my faith, the people around me, and to my students. I'm thankful to be in a profession that I look forward to every day. I'm thankful to God and the strength that He has given me to love what I do. I teach because of my faith, and I believe that every student is a loved child of God and has a purpose. I want my students to know that they're cared and they're valued. When we all do our part, we can impact our students and our world for the greater good. When I think back on my journey as a teacher, it's filled with a list of countless individuals, such as mentors, colleagues, and coaches who poured into my life. I'm thankful for probably the most consistent leadership here at Waggener High School that a teacher could ask for. Almost the entire administration team was here at Waggener before I was even a teacher. Names like Sarah Hitchings, Trent Bates, Adam Aitchen, Marianne Tackett, Deb Robinson, and so many other people are staples that provide structure and encouragement for students, or structure and encouragement for any teacher, including myself, to be successful. I would go further to even say that you wouldn't find another school within JCPS where the teachers care as much about their students as they do here at Waggener. I love the teachers in my math department. both past and present. While we all have different personalities and teaching styles, there's a level of respect amongst us that any teacher would desire. As much as it is my name on this award, all the teachers I get to interact with on a daily basis deserve just as much credit. Out of gratitude for those who have poured into me, in turn, I desire to be an encouragement and give back to newer teachers. Finally, one of my goals in teaching is to build relationships with students and be a positive force along their path. I want my students to become better people, not just better at math. I desire my students to want to come into my classroom and enjoy their time they get to learn math. I hope to be an encouragement to everyone who walks through my door, and not just in mathematics, but also in life. I'm grateful for students who shared a little bit of their stories along the way, and the way that they are changing the world for the better. Students past and present, you are the reason I do what I do. If it wasn't for you all putting up with my corny jokes, listening to songs on my label about math, dealing with me every single day at school, and sometimes even in your workplaces, I wouldn't have made it more than a year in this profession. Thank you for being willing to let me be your teacher and teach you some math along the way. Truly, I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm humbled by this award. Thank you.